Hi everybody, so in video 1821 we did a debunking of these Congolese stones that are supposed to supply electricity by just strapping a couple of wires on there. Now the video was not meant to debunk the idea of electricity generating stones because, believe it or not, there are electricity generating stones. They've been discovered in northern China. I may do a video on them, but they exist as a reality. What it is that if you put two wires on something, it isn't going to act as a battery because you have to separate the charges. And of course, if you're just strapping them onto a stone, there's been no effort to separate the charges. And because there's no effort to separate the charges, nothing's going to happen. You do get electricity generation within stone, but immediately it will recombine unless you separate them and take them out of a wire. The path through the wire has to be less resistive than the path within the battery device for a battery to actually work. Just strapping two wires onto a stone is never going to work because there is no charge separation. So these things come up time and time again. For a while there was a guy doing a supercapacitor that he basically filled a barrel full of activated charcoal, stuck some copper pipes in there and said, hey presto, I've got a massive supercapacitor. And it was nonsense because that charge separation wasn't there, and the minute you saw that you knew that this massive barrel was just a pile of rubbish. And I got asked, I don't know, hundreds of times about that. The debunking was not the debunking of the existence of electricity generating stones. They exist. The debunking was the debunking of that presentation. It was obvious that they couldn't work because there was no charge separation, and all I really wanted to show that it's quite easy to do a convincing video or photograph or explanation of something working when it just goes against how it must work. That's what the video was all about. Now, it was basically done on a couple of levels. There were three of them. The first thing is to mix truth with lies. So the truth of vanadium pentoxide as being 11 times more powerful than gasoline is true. It's an actual material that is being heavily investigated in battery research because it is 11 times more dense than gasoline. It's perfectly true. Of course, quartz does generate electricity through piezoelectric. It just doesn't do it that way. And that's the thing. The one thing is to mix a few lies in with the truth. And let's face it, the world is astounding. There are marvellous things out there. There is no need to lie. It's just fascinating all by itself. I mean, who would have thought electric stones really exist? But they do. Who would have thought vanadium diboride is 11 times more powerful than gasoline? But it is. Who would have thought you could light a quartz rock by hitting it? But you can! You can do all of those things. It's the putting together that makes a difference. That was one level it operated on. The other level it operated on was sound. I took it to a level that was almost over the top. Actually, for some people it was, for some people it wasn't. For me, it was right at the edge of what was over the top. But that was a kind of an indication. Sound is a very powerful subliminal suggester to you. And of course, you can pick up sound from all over the place. I got those ones from Pixabuy's royalty-free sound effects. You can just get them on the internet. The crack that it made when it was sparking was in fact whip sound number 3 or something like that. The low hum was mysterious spacecraft sound 9. Just add those into the soundtrack and it acts at a level that you're not actually totally aware of. It's just kind of there and you thought, hang on a sec. But that is another way that it operated. And then of course it's a video. So the main way it operates is visually. Now nobody really, and I'm sorry for Star Wars fans, really believes that Star Wars is real. We all know it's a trick, but we go watching it for the enjoyment of the trick. The same with magicians. You know magicians aren't doing magic, but you enjoy the trick for the cleverness of the performance, and it's all visual trickery and misdirection, and it's the same thing that I used. Now, I'm not a fantastic video editor. Actually, I used a very, very simple trick that was predominant in the 1980s. I used a simple 1980s trick Now, I told you a deliberate untruth, and of course, in order to do that, what I had to do was basically remove my song. And act a little bit. So, that thing is in fact just a PNG file. A PNG file can be overlaid on another image or video, and the background image or video shows up. So let's get rid of me and leave the PNG. There you go, it's just sitting there. We can make that thing bounce around, we can make it move, and we can do that really easily in the video editor. Once you do that and combine them, of course, you get this fantastic light source. All I did was shrink the PNG down to a tiny, tiny size and stick it over the LED, and it looks like the LED is right. So video trickery, audio trickery, and mixing lies with truth were the three things that I did. But actually there was a fourth thing. If your video player is anything like mine, then right underneath the video as it plays is the description, and in that description it said this video is a trick. So all of the time you were watching the video you were being told it was a trick video, but you didn't notice. You didn't notice because you're a human being. It's not possible to notice everything, and so you didn't notice. And I relied on that a little bit. I relied on human nature. And this is the kind of thing that I don't like, and this is the kind of thing that the video was debunking. It's not debunking electric stones, because the universe, nature, is just astonishing, and there are so many things in it we just don't know. We don't know far more than we do, and we're scratching the surface. That, to me, is exciting and interesting and fantastic. What I despise is people who take advantage of that, take advantage of human nature to make it seem like something is real when it isn't. That is what I don't like, and that is what the video is about. The fact that there are things in nature that we don't understand? Oh yeah, sure, but it's got nothing to do with that. That is part of the joy of life. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and please do remember to like, subscribe, and click the notifications.